In this video, the ways that people use sex as a weapon and to manipulate their partners in relationships. Got areas in here. Hi, I am sex and relationship coach Caitlin V, and if you have ever heard a phrase like, I guess I have to give him some, he's been good this week, or I am only having sex with you if you do the following, or if you do that, I will never have sex with you again, or I guess I better put out, or I'm sorry honey, I'm not in the mood, again and again and again and again. You have heard someone using sex as a weapon. This is unfortunate. Sex honestly should be the best part of a romantic relationship. It's the one thing that sets your romantic relationship apart from all of your other relationships. It's a bonding experience. It makes two people merge, and at the end you release oxytocin, the bonding hormone. It makes you want to snuggle and feel close and be intimate. And unfortunately, because it is such a powerful and amazing thing, it can be used as a force for evil as much as a force for good. Ding. In this video, I'm going to show you how sex is used as a weapon, and I'm going to give you advice on how to deal with it if it happens to you and how to avoid it. Basically, there are 4 major ways that sex can be weaponized. Number 1 is withholding sex. In other words, not having sex with your partner for reasons other than you don't want to, or they've done something recently that upset you. Withholding sex is a power move that is often pulled by the person in a relationship who desires sex less and therefore holds the keys to the couple's entire sex life. Number 2 is in punishing and rewarding with sex. So giving someone sex because they bought you something or they did your to-do list or similar, or punishing them with sex or by withholding sex. Number 3 is being critical around someone's sexual performance. A lot of women in particular don't know this, but criticizing a man's sexual performance can sometimes cause disastrous effects for him, his self-esteem, his self-confidence. Being critical about sex instead of being solution-focused actually causes a lot of harm and a lot of damage. And then number 4 is using coercion to have sex with someone when they don't want to. This is more common with men, and unfortunately, it is a way of weaponizing sex, and so I wanted to include it in this video. Listen, it's okay to not want to have sex with your partner from time to time because they did something or because you're just plain not in the mood. But it is not okay to do that consistently, repeatedly, without engaging in a serious communication around sex. It's not okay to treat sex as if it is unimportant. I see this in a lot of relationships. With my one-on-one coaching clients that are in sexless marriages, often they come to me because their wife thinks that their sexual needs are not important. They've stated to her how much sex matters, how great they feel when they're having sex, how important it is to them in their relationship, and the wife says something akin to, you're just blowing it out of proportion. It's really not that big of a deal. Sex doesn't matter that much. It shouldn't matter that much. Like, ew, you're horny. They pull out the shame card, and it's not their fault. They've also been dealt the shame card. That's why they go to pull it out. That's why it's hard to acknowledge that we should be prioritizing sex, or that actually sex is a valid desire for someone, man or woman, to bring up in their relationship. There is one important caveat that I want to make here. I did say sex as a reward is an abuse of sex, can be sex as violence, but I do think that there are some occasions in which this is not so much the case. For example, a special occasion like a birthday. You may not want to have a threesome 364 of the other days of the year, but you may be willing to do so because your partner really wants it and you're consenting on their birthday. Just for example, I do believe that using sex as a celebration and not a reward per se is totally justified if all people are into it and it is fun for everyone. If you are in a monogamous relationship, meaning that you're only having sex with one other person, then you have a monopoly on that person's sex life. And for you to casually disregard their need for sex is unfair and is not treating them as a full and equal partner in the relationship. Listen, I get it. You may have some stuff you need to work through. You may need to work with a sex coach or a therapist, but it is not okay to say to someone, you can't have sex with anyone else and also you can't have sex with me. People are on this planet, we're on this planet alive for a very, very short period of time. And sex is one of the few delights that we get to experience that literally doesn't even have a downside. I mean, it has some downsides, but that's not what this video is about. Sex is a beautiful, wonderful, natural thing, and everyone, I believe, should have access to it with consenting adults. Hey. All right, I focused a lot of this video on how women can use sex as a weapon, but men, you also are guilty of using sex as a weapon. Sometimes men who don't get the sex that they want will actually threaten their partner, threaten to leave, threaten to cheat, threaten to take a mistress. And this is not how we want to get laid, right? This is coercion at its finest, and it is not befitting of a conscious and aware man who is using his higher thinking mind in order to produce an outcome. It's mean, but I get it. Sex is so closely tied to who we are as a person. It's so foundational to how we see ourselves and what's important to us in life that when someone withholds it, it can feel like you are going to die if you don't get it. And if you feel like you're going to die and you're backed into a corner, it makes perfect sense to threaten the other person who you see as the person who's keeping you from the thing that you need. And just as women sometimes withhold sex, men sometimes withhold loving tenderness. I have seen this 1,000 times when men are not getting laid or feeling loved, or sometimes they're just stressed about work. They will withhold compassion. They will withhold love. They will withhold tenderness. They'll say essentially, if you're not giving me the sex I want, then I'm not going to give you the love that you want. Well, that kind of thinking only digs us both deeper into our ruts. A better way of thinking is I'll go first. I will inspire my partner to follow. So I'll give her the love and connection that she wants, that she claims she needs to have before she can even feel sexually aroused. And I'm gonna hope that by giving it to her in the way that she wants, that I can invite sexual arousal. And if for some reason you can't, please contact me, work with a coach, work with a therapist, go to couples counseling. Sex is important. It tends to have a lot of muckiness and shame around it, and with the help of a professional, you can have an amazing sex life. I don't care who you are or who you're married to, you can do it. Da-da-da. If you have ever been criticized in bed, please write FTS in the comments. And if you don't know what that means, Google it, because I can't say it on YouTube. If you have ever experienced sex as a weapon, give this video a thumbs up, which I literally feel like is going to be 100% of us. I feel 100% of us have either experienced sex as a weapon or we've used sex as a weapon against someone else. I know I'm guilty of both, receiving and giving. I guess I don't know if I'm guilty of receiving. I've given and received both of those. I'm not proud of it, but I'm not perfect. I'm here to get better, and I'm here to share what I have learned with you.